All right, I'm sure we'll have some stragglers coming in, but let's go ahead and honor your time for being here promptly and make sure that we get you out of here by 12. So welcome to AI and Automation for Agents and Investors. This class is really for any business, but I do focus on agents and investors because that's my background as part of Stepstone. So who am I and why should you pay attention to what I'm talking to you about? So my name is Anita Ortiz-Lupke. I am a licensed real estate agent since 2014 and a full-time real estate investor since then as well. I was agent number 6 in Stepstone. I wish I was agent number 7. I would have a fun time with that. For those of you that are older, you'll know what I'm referencing. But I spent 15 years focusing on everything real estate, from some retail sales, but mostly on the investment side. That's why I got my license. I've done every kind of distressed property from cosmetic to full gut rehabs. I've done wholesaling, subject twos, wraps, short-term rentals. We even own a hotel out here in Fredericksburg. So I love real estate. It's in my blood, but I'm also a technology fanatic and have been since my corporate banking days back in 2008. So I love technology, and I'm now trying to marry both of those loves and kind of help you guys and other business owners embrace AI and automation and bring it into their business so that you can grow and scale and save time and save money and get some of your day back. I have 10 years of paid ad experience, so I do that for some clients, but mostly for our businesses, and have been, somewhat successful there. So I have some experience on the e-com side as well. I launched Shift Smart AI, which is an automation and digital marketing agency, about a year and a half ago. After 15 years of renovations, I honestly got burned out. I got tired of chasing down contractors, and those of you who do flips can appreciate what I'm talking about. And I just, at my age, just want a different life. And so I'm trying to get that through this new venture, which is called Shift Smart AI, where I'm taking that love of technology and working on the things that get me excited about the day. I'm really a nerd when it comes to technology, and I hope you'll take some of that excitement away as we go through some of the fun things that we've got going on. All right. So we are using all of these tools in our businesses, the hotel, the real estate. We own a roofing company. It's my husband's business. And it's made a difference in all of the things that we've done throughout the years. And AI is just really kind of taking that to a whole other level. All right, so we're going to talk about, just to set the stage, because I think there's a lot of media and hype around AI, and I'm really trying to distill it down into a path of what can you do to help yourselves in your business, right? In every business, there's 3 things that we can do to move the needle. We can increase revenue, which means we need more leads and more conversations happening with potential clients. We need to decrease our expenses, and that's where tech and AI are really going to make an impact for you. You can get rid of time, extra softwares, maybe reposition a great VA from doing minimum wage activities into doing other things that help you sell, cutting costs across the board. But both of those really come down to my favorite, which is get some of your time back, right? Automation can pretty much take care of all of the busy work that you and your team are doing on a regular basis to give yourself back time to do conversations with clients and leads to help you move that needle, or spend time with your family, or pick up a hobby, or read a book. I mean, we all work ourselves to death, and that's really the excitement that I see about automation. Is it's not here to replace you, it's here to augment you, it's here to help you and leverage your skill set in a completely different way, and not do the stuff that really should be farmed out to somebody or to software. So we're going to revisit this. This is just 50, what I call minimum wage activities. I co-opted that term from somebody in Austin, but that really is what it is. They're valuable. They're things that have to be done or should be done on a regular basis, but they probably shouldn't be done by you. They should be done by a VA. They should be done by automation. They should be done by AI. So I want you to kind of take this list and add on to it. I don't have everything here, but these are 50 things that every agent and investor are probably doing on a daily basis that could be done better in another way. And we're going to talk about that. All right, so how much time is the average agent spending? So, we're in a tough market, but in a good market, you're probably spending 10 to 15 hours a week, whether it's you or a VA, with these minimum wage activities. And kind of trying to get you to change your mind a little bit about, is that the best use of your time? If you value your hourly rate at $100, $200, $500, whatever it is that you're doing in life, is it worth it for you to be doing data entry or sending follow-up emails or creating content? There's faster ways to do that, because that's 1.5 to 2 days a month that you could be doing other things. So what would you be doing if you had that time back? And that's what the thread of what this presentation is about. Okay, so what are we going to learn today? We've got 2 hours. The first is going to be about AI tools. These are low cost and no cost tools that are out there right now that can help you with mostly marketing activities. We're going to talk about cloning your voice and your image and doing presentations and all of the practical things that you guys are doing or should be doing on a regular basis. These are tools to get it done faster, but in a lot of cases, get it done better and definitely much cheaper. And then we're going to move into automation in the second hour. And so that's more about how do we set these processes up. And that hour is really about giving you a visual and a framework about how you can start the automation process within your business. So as we run through these, I want you to keep in mind, and I did it intentionally, that most of the graphics and all of the images that you're going to see in the presentation were created by AI and done in a matter of minutes. And so I want you to start to see the quality of things that you can get done with some of these tools that I'm going to share with you. All right, so if you're not using AI right now, or you're just using ChatGPT, and let's take just 2 seconds, because I like to know who I'm talking to. So we've got 12 people on the phone. So how many of you, and just put a 1, are using ChatGPT on a regular basis? Okay, Luce, John, Hiroki, Maria, okay. Everybody knows ChatGPT and are fairly comfortable. How many of you are using 2 or more AI-powered software platforms or technology on a daily basis in your business? How ingratiated are you getting into this? So just put me a 2 and or 3 or 4. Just give me an idea if you're stepping more into the pool, or your ChatGPT is your first entree into AI. Okay, we got 3, we got 2. All right, so we've got a few people in the crowd, in the big crowd, that are using a couple of tools. So this is an interesting case story, and you can read about this online. So agents and agencies are already embracing and leveraging AI, and have for a while, and are seeing tremendous results out of it. This is a international Christie's franchise or office in Portugal. They deal a lot with international clients. Portugal is a hot place to move right now. And because of the time changes with their international clientele, they were leaving a lot of business on the plate, right? they go to bed at 8 o'clock and, come to work at 8 o'clock. And those off hours with somebody in Japan or somebody in the United States, they were missing leads. And so they got very creative and created a chatbot, an AI-powered chatbot, and trained it on the 5,000 listings that were in Portugal and available for them to either show or were part of their inventory. And just that chatbot, who was able to respond to a lead immediately. So speed to lead in our business is everything, because somebody's going to pick up the phone and call the next guy on Google, but also could answer questions. We're trained on those 5,000 inventory listings. So when that person said, I want a beachside, I want a 4-bedroom, I want a price point, that agent, that chatbot was able to serve up those recommendations and start to position that company as somebody that could set up showings and walk them through the area, etc. So that's happening already. And unfortunately, we all need to start to think about how we can leverage these tools to capture some of that market in a way that fits for your particular business model. And that kind of goes to those who are leveraging AI. Again, this presentation and the message is not that AI is here to replace you in automation. It is here to supplement your activities. And those that are taking the steps to embrace it as it's changing all of our lives are really going to excel. Their clients are going to have a better experience, and they're just going to get things done faster and in a better way. And so let's dive in to tools and software. So again, focusing on things that will help you in your daily, mostly marketing activities. And there's a lot here. We're going to go through about 10 or 12 of them. The goal for today is to pick one. A lot of you had just done AI or ChatGPT. Don't try all of these at once. It's overwhelming. There is still a learning curve. Pick one tool today, especially if you haven't used ChatGPT and didn't chime in on the chat. Pick one, master it, learn it, grow from there, go on to the next one, implement it into your business, and then go on to the next one. Don't be tech phobic. Those of us of a certain age remember, high school being, teaching us about the new big box computers and teaching us DOS. Well, I wish I had embraced tech more at that time. So you give yourself permission to use one of these things and be bad at it. Every tool I pick up, I'm bad at it. I know I'm going to make errors. That's okay, because it's a learning curve like anything else. So give yourself permission to be bad so that you can get good. So pick one and run with it. All right, so this is just kind of a high level of the things that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to take a deep dive into large language models, so not just ChatGPT, but really kind of give you a framework around what these models do and why they're important to you for a lot of different reasons. We're going to talk about scraping tools. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about content creation and marketing and how you can leverage these things. We're going to talk about productivity tools, so being more efficient and how to use these tools to ethically steal other people's content and make it your own. And then we're going to talk about lead generation tools, and then you're going to get a list of 30 to 50, probably 50 at least, extra tools that I love, but I just can't cram them all into this hour. So you'll get that in your email as you go. All right, come on. There we go. All right, so let's talk about large language models. So everybody knows ChatGPT. That's what kicked all this frenzy off, but there are other large language models. They all function the same way at a basic level, but how they are used and, more importantly, why you are using them kind of can determine if you want another version. There's Perplexity, there's Manus, there's Claude, there's all kinds of things. But what can you do with these? So large language models can research neighborhood data, property taxes, zoning regulations. It can write content for you and copy for emails. It can help you coordinate tasks like scheduling showings and sending reminders. It can engage your clients up front from leveraging voice AI with a large language model to talk to your clients on the phone, get their needs, and even pre-qualify them before passing them on to you or to a partner on your team. So if you're not using ChatGPT at all or very little, the sky's the limit here. Ask it questions, play with it, and really kind of understand work-related tasks that it can excel. So I'm going to go to the next slide really quick, but you can see on the right, this was taken a few months ago, these are things that I use ChatGPT all the time. It's basically open on my computer, everything from content creation to how to optimize my listings for e-commerce, how to build a code. If I don't know how to do something and I need code, it can help you with that. It can help me with lists, how to run software, anything under the sun, not just work related, but it helped me plan a trip to Seattle a couple of weeks ago. It helped me figure out when the best time to buy my flights were, recipes, you name it. And it really can be a better tool than Google in terms of how it serves up personalized information that's just for you. So I think this one is a little bit more descriptive. So which AI tool to use and when. So we've got ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, which is X or Twitter. That's their large language model. And then Gemini. So best explained by an answer. So ChatGPT is the one that says, research, very simple, laid out in bullet points. Give me a checklist for sellers to get their home ready for photos and showings. It's practical, it's very organized, it's to the point, and you're off and running. Perplexity is more research-based. It goes into white papers and published articles and authorities and just gives you a deeper dive, a deeper research agent and cites sources for things. So pull recent stats or examples showing how staging affects sales price and days on market. So you're looking for data, you're looking for things, that's where I would go to Perplexity. Gemini is a little more predictive, so generate three different staging strategies, which are budget-friendly, mid-range, and luxury, and explain which sellers should use and why. So it's more scenario-based. It's also better at doing predictive analysis. So if you load up a bunch of data about closings in a particular zip code, it can give you the synopsis of that data, but it can also, if you ask it, give me where you think this is going based on permits being pulled in the area, recent news articles for commercial and residential development, schools being built, etc. You can leverage Gemini to help you with that prediction. Grok is just, to me, is just a little more fun, right? It has a little bit more of humor, although I do use ChatGPT to strike up some humorous stuff. But, write a snarky one-liner about sellers hiding laundry in the oven before showing. So the images that it produces, the content, it's just a little bit more, I want to say flippant, for lack of a better term. But you'll have this slide and it'll kind of give you. ChatGPT is great, don't get me wrong. You don't have to have all four of these. But I wanted you to know that there are other things out there because of what we're getting ready to talk about in just a second. So large language models all power the things that we're going to talk about today and a lot of other software that's out there. It's not just people coming to ChatGPT, but the software that you're seeing built out are foundational to these large language models. And so just like with anything else, prompting is becoming a valuable skill set. A prompting engineer, an LLM prompting engineer, is now an actual job title, and these people are making $300,000 on up. because these large language models are just like anything else, garbage in, garbage out. So the better you are at prompting the large language model in terms of context, what role is it playing, what's the action that you want it to do, and what's the format that you want it to come back with, you're going to get better results. And so how do you learn prompting? Well, let's take a look at what a prompt actually looks like. Okay. So let's say you went to ChatGPT and you said, give me 20 blog ideas for real estate investors. Very vague, no context. It could come back with commercial when you wanted residential. It could come back with historical data when you're looking for forward predictions. It could come with national information when you're looking for regional. So you want to give it as much tone and thought about how you want that to come back, and it will do better for you. Now, this is a prompt that's probably overkill, but I wanted you to see you're a professional blog writer with 20 years experience in real estate and distressed property investing. So you're telling the ChatGPT, who are you in this scenario? I want you to give me content based on your role. What do you want it to do? You want it to generate 20 blog post ideas that are tailored for this particular clientele or reader. You want it to convert into leads. Here are my requirements. I need a title. I need a description. I want my meta tags and keywords. What tone? Do you want it witty and funny? Do you want it professional, somewhere in between? Do you want it in Spanish? You can ask it to do this in any other language. And it's problem solving, it's practical uses, etc. And ask, give it focused topics that you want it to. So overkill again, but you see it's a lot better than just saying, give me 20 blogs for real estate investors. Well, how do you learn the art of prompting? There are a few ways. You can ask ChatGPT to write the prompt for you, which is... Okay, so you could go into ChatGPT and simply ask it to write you a prompt for a 3,000 word blog, etc. on this topic, just like we framed it out. You can go to this particular ChatGPT. So for those of you that may or may not know, ChatGPT has what are called custom GPTs. And that's what these are. So you can create your own custom GPT, and you can also pull from GPTs that were created by other people that are public for you to use. Most of these are free, some of them have costs, but you can find custom GPTs on writing, productivity. You can type by topic or job title and see what's out there and play around with it. So does everybody know what a custom GPT is? And how you would use it? Okay, perfect. So think about Dan and Angie with Stepstone Realty. They're business owners. They have a particular niche of agents that are also investors, hold their license. They give us freedom to do the types of real estate businesses that we want. They have a particular compensation schedule. They have a history on Dan and Angie. They have a brand. They have a brand voice. They have words that they use and phrases that they use repeatedly in their business. So what a custom GPT is it is a trained GPT that's specific to you and what you train it on. So in Dan and Angie's scenario, they could create a Stepstone brand voice or a Stepstone assistant so that it is trained on all of this data once, and then they can come back to it whenever they need it. Write me a social media post, write me a newsletter. I need to create a workshop for our agents. Give me some topics and ideas. No more having to repeat the prompt building process because you've got this GPT, this assistant that is already trained in this knowledge base. You can see mine here. I have one for our hotel. I have one to create images. I have a seller simulator and a listing genius prompt that I use and share with you guys if you're interested. I have one that helps me create workflows. I have one for ShiftSmart that is that brand voice. And so you can create any number of these or leverage the ones that are out there to be very specific and be a tool for repeatable processes and brand voices and knowledge bases that you need, okay? You have to have a paid subscription with ChatGPT. It's $20 a month. Best $20 that I have ever spent because you can create these and move on. You can create them for your clients. You can create a database that helps them with their listings or their showings or the whole process in general, what happens with title. You can train it on any number of things or just one general, and you can share it with them so that when they have immediate questions, they can go to the ChatGPT and ask it if you're not available or just make it another client experience for them to have a good path with you. So you'll have access to this one. I just pulled one. There's many GPTs that you can work. Where's it at? Let's see. Sometimes Gamma's a little. No, it's not. It will be in your presentation deck. I apologize. This is an old one. Let me refresh. Let's do that. Okay, I'll make sure it's in there. Other GPTs that I think you should know about. So this is one for listings. So use this to give you a foundation to start a great listing. It will ask you a few questions. This is my house in Fredericksburg because I just wanted to test it. So it asks you, what's the property address? Give me some basics. Has it been recently renovated? Or what's the situation with the house? Tell me about the area, tell me about the land, just some basic information that you want included in that listing. And I hit go and it came out. This was the first run. I didn't change anything about it, but it pulled in a lot of what I think is great copy. Again, humanize it, make it your own. It's just a way to start what would normally take a 30 to 45 minute sit down and quiet and start writing things out. It's a fast path to get you to a good foundation, and then you can tweak it. We talked about creating your own custom GPT. So there's actually a GPT that you can use to create your own GPT. So it assists in the model creation and can help you craft that if you decide that you want to jump onto that bandwagon. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is new content. If you were at the Stepstone convention a couple weeks ago, I came back from a meeting last week where we had senior managers from OpenAI that created ChatGPT as well as Google, and talking about how large language models are changing the way that we search. Google by far still has the vast majority of search traffic, but ChatGPT in particular has just kind of changed the game, and more people are using this simply because of the way it is serving up its content. So you can start to see, because it's happening already, that there's going to come a day where ChatGPT is going to find you, or perplexities. You want those large language models to find you out there in the world so that when somebody is typing in licensed realtor in Houston with 10 plus years experience and focuses on River Oaks, ChatGPT actually names your business, names you, and names your company, your agency as, here's somebody that met your criteria and gives a little information about your background. So just like search engine optimization, SEO, that AI optimization is something that we all need to start thinking about, because it can't, just like in SEO, if you don't have content out there in a way that the large language models can read it, it's not going to be able to find you. And so one of the things that the OpenAI guy was really clear about, and you'll see them on your feed, he said, if somebody is telling you online that they're going, you can pay them to help you get listed automatically, he said, that's not accurate. That's not true. That's not how it's working right now. You can't pay anybody to get you listed. What you need to do is start doing the things, whether you pay somebody to help you with the things that I'm going to talk to you about in a second. You have to start developing the content and in the right way for you to be able to be found. Okay, so what does that look like? Build topical authority. Large language models are really looking for people that exhibit authority in a particular concept, ideology, niche, job. And the more content that you put out there, the more it is able to recognize you as the authority on that particular topic. And so the more content that you're putting out there, and here's just some guidelines, the more you're going to be recognized and start to be served up. Use conversational language. So, don't use the technical jargon of our business. You really want to write in a conversational 5th grade level, to be honest. Speak like you're talking to friends, and in a professional way. If you want to do humor, that's fine, but just remember that it wants conversational language and not a lot of jargon. Get backlinks and PR. So there's a weight that it's giving to people that are recognized as authority, or at least have content that people like that's being shared elsewhere. So the more places that you can get listed for searchable content, the more AI is going to start to serve you up on these large language models. So this one's AI structured content. So just like in SEO, it's not just the content that you put out there to the world that has to be great. It also, in the back end, needs to be structured properly. And what does that really mean? Your headers are complete. You have FAQs on your website. You're using schema markup, which is a tech language. It's not anything you want to learn. You can hire somebody off Upwork to help you do this back end on your website. But having that schema markup in the right places and the right structure is what these large language models can read, and is going to be easier to find you. Okay. And I apologize, this is an old version, I don't know where my new one is, but instead of writing a title like this, which is fine, think about how you would put this into Google or ChatGPT. Instead of what AI can do for my small business, how do I integrate AI into my real estate business? Top 10 ways to find AI and automation education, or whatever it is. Start to formulate your titles in a way that you think your clients or prospects are searching for you. And that's, again, another small way that we're being told AI will be able to find you. Get listed on key data sources. So if you don't have a Google My Pay business profile, large language models like ChatGPT are still leveraging Google. Don't get me wrong, Google is very, very important. So make sure you have your Google My Business profile up and it's stocked with relevant information, and be posting on there on a somewhat regular basis. Get reviews. Automation can start to take this off of your plate in terms of automating the review process and even responding to it. answer niche related questions on Reddit. I don't do a lot on Reddit, but I keep hearing Reddit is a gold mine for finding leads and finding business in terms of being an authority out there. If you want, create a Wikipedia page if you fancy yourself a public figure in whatever you're doing. So again, get listed in the right places so that ChatGPT is able to find you. All right, so I'm going to stop here for just a second and see if we have any questions, because I want to see if I can find the more recent one. Any questions? Okay, so this is one of my favorite tools I use quite often. It's absolutely free. You just go to the Google Chrome App Store and you can get it installed onto your desktop so that when you are ready, it's right there. You click on it and it will lift up and scrape data that's on a particular web page that you are looking to get into a format that you can use for anything you want. So let's look at some use cases for this to kind of explain. You can scrape for sale by owner or Craigslist or other sites for leads. So you can look at for sale by owner. It will pull all of the information that's on that page itself, even contact information if it's listed. And then you can export it in a CSV file, an Excel file. I think they've added a PDF, not really sure, but you can extract that and use it for creating a custom audience, doing an email, finding the correct email if it's not there, whatever it is that you want to use that particular information for. One of the things that I using it for is I want to reach out to local chambers of commerce for my technology platform. Well, I can go to the American Association of Chamber of Commerce. I'm not really sure what the right acronym is, but I can lift all of that and all of the contact information and put it into a nice Excel and then use other automation tools to craft cold emails and start sending them out and following up. So it's just a start, and it's a free tool that you can use for whatever you want. That's the other thing that you can use it for. So think about private Facebook groups that you want to get in front of. I use the one, I'm in outside of San Antonio. There is a private military relocation group. It's mostly women, mostly wives and mothers who are congregating in this group of several thousand people that they move a lot, and they want to know what the schools are in this place, and is there a local realtor that's best to work with, etc. All military families, how do they get loans, etc. Well, you can now, using Instant Data Scraper, you can go in and activate to scrape all of the members of a private Facebook group. It's not going to give you their emails or anything like that, so if you've got other sources to do that. But what you can do is two things. One, obviously participate in the group, right? Answer questions, be involved, be engaged. But the other is take that list, go into Facebook ads, and create what's called a custom audience. So when you run Facebook ads, you can create this audience with these Facebook profile handles, because you're going to get that on the scraper. And you can run an ad specifically to that custom audience. So guess what? You're not only being the voice of authority in the group, they're also going to start seeing your ads because you've now put them into a custom Facebook group that you're serving up ads on your business specifically to them. Okay? All right. So as we get into automation, we're going to talk about going deep. Instant Data Scraper is very superficial. It's got to be whatever's on the screen. We're going to talk about tools that will allow you to go deeper. So imagine pulling every probate attorney in the state of Texas from LinkedIn, generating a cold email to go out to them to talk to them as an investor that you want to help with any properties that need to be disposed of. So there's more tools that go way deeper, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Instant Data Scraper is a good cheat. Okay, let's move on to, thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. Yeah, the more you guys can engage with me, it makes it fun. So thank you. All right, so 11 Labs. Let's talk about cloning. So 11 Labs is a platform. They're a leader in this movement, which means they've been around for all of a couple of years. Everything in this industry is changing so fast, but it's a reputable platform to go to start cloning your voice and or using avatars to create content for whatever it is that you're looking to do. So let's give you an example. And you're going to start to see threads about how I'm using this. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, because I was just training this for a minute video. You get more if you do the paid. And I said, I would like you to create a 1-minute audio script for a video that for motivated sellers that explains the process of getting a cash offer on your home and the process of selling it as is. ChatGPT came up with that script. I edited it, I tweaked it, and I ported it over in copy and paste into 11 Labs. Before that, I trained 11 Labs on my voice. So you guys probably saw me setting up cameras and taping things. Well, I do that for content, but I also do that to train my voice. So I took prior training videos that I had done. I just read the phone book, if you want, into your phone and give it sample audio of your voice to train it. Now, the trick here is you want to train it in the voice that you want it to use. So if you want to be fun and flippant and conversational and excited and happy, you need to have that tone of voice while you're training it. You've got to have that inflection in your voice and smile while you're talking so that it comes across in the audio. If you want it to be professional and educational, even monotone. Slow down, use smaller words, whatever it is that you think you want to do for the type of content that you're creating. And with 11 Labs, you can create 100 different personalities. You can kind of get schizophrenic with this thing. And so that you can use the funny voice for social media and the professional educational voice for doing that type of content. So, trained it, put up my audio script, and then I said, go. And this is what came out. You've now heard me speaking for 45 minutes. Let's kind of hear what this says.
Hi, my name is Anita Ortiz. I've been a real estate investor for over 15 years, and I specialize in making the process of selling your home as quick and easy as possible. Here's how it works. We'll start with a quick chat to learn about your property and your situation. I'll ask for details like the address.
Pretty good, pretty clean. I did that about 6 months ago. I can promise you the quality of the technology's gotten even better. It's just this moving so fast. Now what do I do with this? Well, a lot of us work in areas of our cities where a different language is spoken, mostly Spanish, but it could be French, German, wherever it is that you're at, and you want to be able to and have it being able to do marketing to that particular demographic because you may not speak that language. So I went back to ChatGPT and I said, take this particular script and translate it into Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I can get myself out of Mexico and order a drink, but I cannot speak fluent Spanish, and this is what it came up with.
Hola, mi nombre es Anita Ortiz. He sido inversionista en bienes raíces por más de 15 años y me especializo en hacer que el proceso de venta de su casa sea rápido y sencillo. Así es como funciona. Comenzaremos con una breve conversación para conocer más sobre su propiedad y su situación. Le pedí.
So, hit me up in the chat. What do you think about that? Is that something that you could leverage for your business? Think about creating pods of content for walking your clients through a listing. or walking them through the closing process. You don't have to get expensive audio equipment anymore, and you can do this sitting in your jammies, on a Sunday afternoon. Okay. All right. So how good is this technology? So I sent a text to one of my best friends. This is Sandra. I've known her since I was 14. That's a long time. And she's from Mexico. Parents don't speak English. Very great Spanish Mexican family. This is her and I in Spain. And I didn't tell her what I was doing. And I sent her the link to the audio that you just heard, and this is what she came back with. And so I share this because the technology is pretty good right now, that I could fool a friend of 40 years with that content. So don't be afraid to use it in whatever way you think ethically to be able to do, and take advantage of that being out there. All right. I'm not going to go through this, but I'll have that in your package. What are the steps to do this so that you can do it on your own with your own content? All right, so we talked about voice. Let's talk about image. How do you clone your own image? So this is getting really fun. Grok, Midjourney, ChatGPT has stepped up to do great image creation. Flux is a personal favorite of mine. That's how I train my model to do images of me. This is a AI generated image that you're looking at. And then I found Higgsfield. You're going to see Higgsfield in just a second. That is more image to video, and it's really fun to see what you can do on your listings there. So let's kind of take a peek at what some of the things that I'm using this for. So ads. I'm on the investor side. You're driving around, you're taking pictures of typical houses to use in ads. I don't know, is that a good thing that you're using somebody's distressed home in your advertisements? Well, you don't have to do that anymore. You can create the right prompt to create an image that you can then use for your advertisements. I told it I wanted a typical ranch house in Texas, 1960s build, cloudy day, slightly disheveled yard, and this was the first thing that it came out with. You can always tweak. On the flip side, if you're a retail agent, Facebook ads library, you can go into Facebook ads library and you can find active published ads that are out there in any discipline. I just put real estate agents to get inspiration. This is not about stealing content, but inspiration. And an ad came up that I liked the look and feel. It was a living room similar to this. She had a similar graphic, although it was in the middle, and she had something else on the bottom, but I liked the look and feel of it. So I went into Flux and I said, create me a image of a upper end living room, transitional furniture, not monotone, beige tones, gray tones, but I want bright, colorful art and window treatments. And this is what it came back with. Threw it into Canva and worked with some of their templates, and this is an ad that I generated. So no more paying royalties for images to do content. No more having to necessarily, take images of every open house, or however you're getting images for ads or content on your pages. You can create them and not have to worry about privacy or copyright issues. Just some other creative things. I was doing a founders club, so I wanted kind of that visual about me, so you can create these graphics for your web pages. For ShiftSmart, I wanted that visual of a young man who typically wholesalers are younger gentlemen, missing a call at 2 o'clock in the morning because he's out, having dinner with and partying with some friends, and created that. The right one was a blog thumbnail. So I searched ChatGPT and I said, what are top renovations that are really valuable in 2025 and get the best ROI for the littlest budget? And it came back with a list of 10 and, small upgrades to your kitchen, a new garage door, upgrades to your bathroom, and a new front door. And so I went into Flux and said, create 4 of these images, and threw it back into Canva with a template. And this is what came out of that process, which took all of about 10 minutes, let's say 10 minutes. So again, be thinking about how you can cut costs here and time from having to take images. So Flux AI is Flux is a model, just like ChatGPT and Perplexity. Flux is a model I use through a platform called Replicate. I'm going to share some information on how you can do this, but you can create your own avatar for real estate marketing. So for those of you on the retail side, think about what this means. No more professional photo shoots. This is the typical real estate stance, but you could make black and white. You can do, those fun modeling photos. I was doing some development, and so I threw myself into a hard hat out into a construction site. The sky is the limit for putting you into these images in a pretty, the hair's looking good, the makeup's looking good, and no more photo shoots, no more costs. Those get really, really expensive. And so that's something that you can take advantage of. Okay, questions. We'll talk about some of that towards the end, Luz. So yes, just keep an open mind. Again, it is overwhelming. There's a lot here. My goal for today is to show you what is out there and get you excited about starting your journey and picking one that you think will work for your business, and then learning that and kind of going from there. YouTube is your friend on any of this. It's how I learn from any model. There's always content being created out there about how to use these models in the best way. Exposure, exactly. That's all I'm trying to do. We'll talk about that in just a second, because it's not as expensive as you may think it is. A lot of these platforms actually have free versions, and so you can create a little snippet here, a little snippet there, and be able to be off and running. Thank you, Luz. Okay, so what is Higgs field? So this is fun. I just found this a few weeks ago. So some of you may know that we own a little boutique motor lodge out in Fredericksburg, in Stonewall, actually, in the Fredericksburg wine country area. And I'm always looking for content and how do I do this? And, we're a small hotel. We don't have a huge marketing budget. And so Higgs field came across, and I want you to think about how you could use this with your listings, okay? So these 2 images on the bottom, these are images that we had professionally done when we finished renovations of the hotel back in 2019, okay? They're not new photos. They were done by a professional photographer. And I use them in all of our marketing materials and on our website. You'll see those. We're really big on branding. Well, Higgs field, and this is the free version, so I just got like 5 or 10 second snippets. This is great for Reels. What it does is it takes these images and turns them to life. And so these are ads that I'm now running in my page, and I want you to see what is happening. So look at that steam coming up on the coffee. The bed's actually moving. So we came up with from pour to pillow. ChatGPT kind of helped me with putting that branding together. And these are great for reels and stories. So think about animating the great listing that you have with families around the table having Thanksgiving dinner, or a mom and daughter cooking in the kitchen that that just was renovated in your empty listing. So lots of opportunity, especially on the retail side, to be able to use these effectively. So you guys like that? I think that's fun. All right. Okay, just a few more. So if you want to learn how to replicate train your image, your photos on Flux, take a picture of this QR code. It will take you to my website. I have a free video that's, I don't know, about 30 minutes long, and it's literally step by step. Point here, click here. This is the website you need to go to. There should be no reason that you can't get this done. As a matter of fact, we did a presentation at Stepstone a couple of weeks ago, and there was already an agent that was using this out there. I will tell you that the technology is not particularly great on putting text. It's misspelled, it's odd, it's funky. So what I do is I tell it, holding a blank whiteboard in the city, sunny outside, and then I take that and I throw it into Canva and I put my text on top of it. So it'll get there, but I find it's clunky and it's not particularly great on putting text at this point. All right, Agent Pulse. So how about turning images into 3D video? We saw a little bit of that on Higgsfield. This is another primarily retail tool that you guys can use to take those great photos that you've taken by a professional photographer and putting them into a 1 to 3 minute video that you can compile and take a peek at what's happening on some of these images. This was my last renovation project, a big historical home in Fredericksburg. These are images that I took with my iPhone and edited them. They're, again, trying to figure out how we cut costs and do things great. So I took these 5 images. I only did this on the free plan. If I was into this type of business on the side a little bit more than I am, I would do the free version. I think it's like $49, but way cheaper than hiring an editor to do this. So I would get rid of the text, and but you can kind of see what's happening and watch the images actually come to life in terms of movement, okay? So that's the free version. You can get rid of the watermark, etc. But did you see the trees moving and the ceiling fan floating around on this thing? That's crazy to me. Look at that. So again, you can pay for that, do a 20 image video professionally done and have some movement that it looks like you actually pulled a videographer out. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, Hey Jen. So Hey Jen, we're going to start to move a little bit faster here. So Hey Jen is just like 11 Labs is for voice. Hey Jen is the leader out there for AI video, both your likeness as well as 500 plus avatars that you can pick. You can create your own avatar or you can use one of theirs. So there's free and paid plans on this. And so what can you do with this? You can do personalized walkthroughs with the video that we just created on Agent Pulse. You can do a series of explainer videos like the one I'm getting ready to show you. So you can just have them ready and you can text them to your client whenever the stage hits them. You don't have to constantly be redoing things. FAQ videos for your website, etc. I will tell you this one is, my mouth is a little odd, and the reason is this is an AI generated image. I didn't train it on my actual movements and how I speak. I just threw an AI generated image. So you're going to be able to tell that it's not exactly me, but I want you to get the point that the quality can be there if you take the time to train these things the right way.
Great news for you. Your offer was accepted and you're officially under contract. The contract's been received with the title company and you'll need to deliver your earnest money and option fee within 3 days. Check your email for instructions. We'll schedule your inspection ASAP and let you know the time, as it's best if you can be there in person. Once we have the report, we'll review it and decide if we want to move forward.
So pretty cool that you can generate these videos of you in any particular scenario, that you can just have a stock list that can be sent to your clients and prospects that put a face with a name and show you in a different light than just an email. Okay. I'm going to skip this, but you can watch this. I just took a video of my flip house that I had from a couple of years ago and did the script on ChatGPT, tweaked it, and picked an avatar on HeyGen as if she was one of my team. And that's what this walkthrough video is. So just another way to think about how to use these. All right. Let's talk about TurboScribe. Love TurboScribe, another one that I use on a daily basis. TurboScribe is an AI transcription service that you can use to do any number of things. I primarily use it for knowledge. There is so much on YouTube University. I'm sure you've heard of that before, but who has hours upon hours to sit and watch the fluff and the, whatever it is on that YouTube 2-hour video to get to the meat of what you're looking for? Or you are intentionally scouting out high performing content by your competitors or national figures, whoever that's on YouTube or any other video platform, or it's content that you've created that you want to load up. You can take that link, that YouTube link, port it into TurboScribe, and it will word for word transcribe that video in just a couple of minutes, no matter how long it really is, okay? What do you do with that? Well, you take that and you can download it into text, PDF, or any number of formats, and take it into ChatGPT, and using your custom GPT with your brand voice, prompt it to make it your own, right? We're all really, really smart people on this call, but I'm gonna probably guess that there's very, very few of us who have come up with a brand new, mind-blowing concept that somebody hasn't thought about or hasn't done some kind of training on out in the world, particularly on YouTube. So when I said in the beginning that we were going to talk about ethically stealing other people's content, this is what I'm talking about, right? Find content that works for you and your business that's already performing well. I don't know if it's keywords, the concept, whatever it is, that video is getting lots of views, lots of comments, and why not leverage that to take that knowledge and make it your own? We're not talking copy word for word. We're talking about humanizing it, making it your own, and putting that content out into the world so that you become the authority on that content. TurboScribe helps you do that. It can synopsize videos for education. So if you want to learn how to do something, you can take this video that I'm talking to you right now and load it up into TurboScribe and really distill out, get rid of all the fluffy words and the stories that I'm telling you, and really just nail down into give me the themes, give me the highlights of the content that she shared, and that's TurboScribe. Okay, so let's see how this might work. So ethically stealing, so this is Alan Chesker. If you've been around Stepstone or in Austin, he's a title company guy, the attorney that does a lot with investors. And so I just went to his page, and he's got a lot of really short 1 minute, 2 minute clips. This is 1 minute. Should I sell my property before or after a divorce? I copied that link, imported it into YouTube, it transcribed it. I went over to ChatGPT and asked it to rewrite it with the right prompt. What was I using it for? This was for motivated sellers, etc. And I went into HeyGen. This was done again 6 or 8 months ago. I would probably guess to say that the video quality is going to be much better, but I wanted you to kind of see what comes out of it. It can brand it with your own logo. I could put me in here. I just picked one.
Hi, it's Jen again. Divorce is tough, and when property is involved, it can get even more complicated. One of the most common questions is, should I sell my house before or after the divorce? The short answer is yes. You should sell either before or after the divorce is finalized, not during. Here's why.
Okay, so again, another option for those of you that are shy, don't like being in front of the camera, whatever the issue is, you can pick an avatar that becomes your team member and use that religiously in HeyGen to present whatever content that you're doing. Okay. Will this work on a 2-hour? Yes. So let's see. So I've got an hour and 18 minutes, an hour and 25 minutes. You know, you got to pay for some of this. I think there's 3 free transcriptions up to a certain amount, but if you're going to use it a lot, then yes, you can. There's no real limit on what you're doing. And then depending on what you're looking for, a list of key points, you might have to take that into ChatGPT, right? And say, give me a list of key points for this particular 2-hour video as it relates to marketing for my business or how to create a blog, whatever it is. You just, again, the prompt is everything, or you can just say, synopsize it for me. All right. Okay, there's a how. I'll let you look at that later. Gamma. Now we're talking presentations. So we've talked about cloning your image, cloning your voice, putting that all together to do any number of things. And this is Gamma. So you've actually been looking at Gamma since we started this. This presentation was done on Gamma. Why do I love Gamma? Back in the day when I was working at Morgan Stanley in corporate banking, I was a product manager and I was the PowerPoint queen. I did everything in PowerPoint, and I had a manager that was really keen on how you present and graphics and making it fun and entertaining. I don't have to do that anymore. So how does Gamma work? It's AI generated presentations. For this presentation, I don't know, 8-9 months ago when I started doing this, I said in ChatGPT, here's a list of 14 at the time, 14 low-cost and no-cost AI and automation tools that I want to create a Gamma.app presentation with. I want to talk about how they can be used for real estate agents and investors. I want to cap it at 15 slides, whatever it is. Let's start with an outline that is Gamma friendly. It came up with that outline. I literally went into Gamma.app, threw in that outline, and within 2 minutes, it formatted a 50-page presentation, complete with AI-generated images, content already in there, and a way for me to edit anything I want. So it becomes a foundation. You can add pages, you can change layouts, you can put brand colors. All of that stuff is easy to do. But what it did is it took probably 5 to 10 hours of building a basic foundation in PowerPoint that then could allow me to tweak. This is all cloud-based, so you can see me, moving around in here on the cloud, and you can share links with this. You can create, if you don't like this image, you can create more AI-generated images in Gamma. So it's a really neat tool, and it's free to do, I think, 10 slides. So think about listing presentations, trying to raise money, if you're a mortgage broker, putting a Who Am I presentation together. The sky's the limit. If you think of PowerPoint to do something, you probably should consider Gamma, another fun favorite that I love. All right, Taja and Opus. So we going down the spiral of creating content from cloned voice, cloned images, presentations, etc. Taja and Opus makes the process of cutting up and clipping content stupid easy. I'm going to take this video, which is going to be 2 hours long. I'm going to throw it into probably Opus, which is a cheaper version, and it's going to cut up, powered by AI, particular snippets of things that I'm saying and talking about that will allow me to just download, throw up into Instagram and TikTok or wherever I want, and I'm off and running. So no more editing, no more having to cut and paste. I prefer Taja, but it's $40-50 a month. So there's probably the most expensive thing that I have on here, but you can also look at opus.ai, which does a lot of the same technology, and I think it's like $10 a month. Always check AppSumo, which is a platform for new software that gets rolled out that you can get deals on. So let's take a peek at what this is. So if you're with Stepstone, Veronica and Will Pritchett. This was a podcast that they did with Dan. So I threw that up in there and I said, do your magic. And this is what came out.
Let's see how Taja works. Drop a YouTube link into Taja, and in seconds, it transcribes your video, analyzes your audience, and generates SEO optimized titles, descriptions, tags, and chapters. So your content ranks higher and reaches more viewers. Need a thumbnail? Taja creates AI-powered designs or pulls the best face shots from your video, ready to grab attention. You can edit any of this to make it your own. It will even save your style for future videos and shorts. Want short-form content? Taja automatically finds the best moments, formats them into high-impact shorts and clips, and optimizes them for YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram Reels. I sped this clip up, but this took me about 3 minutes total. Let's take a moment to see how this turned out. Automatically launched to all the platforms with a click of a button.
And our mindset shifted from being somebody that's saying, begging or being in a inferior position, asking for something, to offering something. Dan, I'm offering you 10% interest if you want to loan me, and it's collateralized by something worth more than you're loaning me. And it starts to look pretty clear that this is a pretty safe, collateralized investment with a great return. So I think that's kind of the synopsis of how private money has worked for us, and that's come from people's savings, and it's come from retirement accounts. You had some good ideas, I think, on why people will invest with somebody as far as the taking action.
Yeah, Taja also helps revive old videos, improving their SEO and repurposing them for fresh engagement. Plus, it suggests high-ranking content ideas based on real-time search trends, so you're always ahead of the curve. It's fast, it's automated, and it's designed to help you create more content in less time.
All right, so just another fun way to do things faster and much more efficiently to create content. All right, video to blog. We're talking about taking videos like the one that I'm doing now. I'm going to load it up into video to blog, and I'm going to create some really SEO optimized blog content that has keywords, meta tags, images. It pulls in snippets of my video. It can even include the full process of video up top. Really just a smooth, easy way to take content. So this whole theme of repurposing content is exactly what we're talking about, right? Take one piece of content, a video, create a blog, create snippets, do FAQs, create content for your website. So no more, pick something you love and then be able to just chop it up and use it in different places to get that reach. So I'm going to let you look at this video because we're running a little bit behind and I want to keep going. Google Notebook. So this is free. Google does a couple of things. So Google is really great. Notebook is really great of taking massive amounts of data and distilling it down and narrowing down what it is that you're looking for. And I just gave you some use cases here. So if you're uploading, let's say Market Intel Hub, let's say you're out of Houston and you want to know where's the growth happening? Where do we think the growth is going to go in the next 5 to 10 years? And the notebook, you can upload resources for zoning and construction permits, articles that, newspapers to search articles for new developments or new announcements of businesses coming, previous commercial data on that particular area, whatever it is. You can load it up, and Google Notebook will take that and distill it down into here's what we're seeing happening now, and here's where we think the growth areas are going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, and this is why. And so you've got a lot of things that you can do if you have vast amounts of data that you need to massage. How I use it is on the more fun side. So best with an illustration, you can create third-party podcasts that can function as making you the authority. So how did I do this, and what does it sound like? So let's take Stepstone's website, Dan and Angie. Great website, not a whole lot in-depth content in there. Definitely strong brand message. What do they do? Who are they after? But it's a, 5-10 page website. This thing took just that website and turned it into a, 15-minute full podcast talking about Stepstone as the place to go if you want to hold your license and do other types of investing as well as helping retail clients. So let's listen in and think about what you could do with this.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a Texas-based brokerage called Stepstone Realty.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're kind of raising eyebrows with their approach to real estate. You know, they seem to be blending that traditional agent role with real estate investing.
Wow.
Creating this kind of agent-investor hybrid. So instead of just helping others buy and sell properties, the traditional way,
Right.
they're encouraging their agents to build their own real estate portfolios too.
Well, that's an interesting model, and it really speaks to that changing real estate landscape.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing more and more agents, I think, looking for ways to diversify their income and build that long-term wealth.
Exactly. And Stepstone is leaning into this trend big time, you know?
Yeah.
They're branding it as the...
So all of that generated a 16-minute, really, really high-quality podcast that I'm using for my clients to put content out there that's not just them tooting their own horn, right? This can be something that sits on my website that we did on behalf of my client Stepstone Realty, and you can do the same thing for yourself. So just another fun tool. Want Chat to do the podcast? I don't know if ChatGPT can do this kind of, certainly the quality, but I haven't played around with that, so I'm not exactly sure. All right. How do you, all of the things we talked about, these are just a long list of ways you can repurpose your content that you're creating with the tools that I've talked about so far today. So I'll leave you with that to look at. So we're rounding out the AI side of things. So key takeaways: embrace AI, don't fear it, don't ignore it. You're going to be left behind. This is that DOS scenario when we were in high school learning that, the big computers. So things have changed so much, and I can only tell you, as somebody who is knee deep in AI and automation, the stuff that's coming out is just daily. It is so fast. I can't imagine what we'll be talking about a year from now. But your competition is already using it. Red Door. There's an fully AI powered platform called Ridley that's on the retail side. Keller Williams has a very robust AI generated platform for their agents. So again, embrace this if you're not already, and talk to your brokers if they're not, kind of understand what's happening. And think outside of the box about how you can use these tools. So we're going to stop for just 2 minutes. Any questions? I don't see any in the chat, but I want to get through automation. All right. So let's talk about automation. So everything that we talked about for the first hour and 20 minutes, fun, sexy, exciting, it's marketing, lead generation, creativity, it's all of that fun stuff that we all like to do. Automation is the other side of that coin. This is about the not all, but mostly monotonous tasks that we have to do on a regular basis. And how do we start thinking about that process of automating these? So the goal for today is pick one automation. We're not going to build it. I want you to start to think about one thing that you do in your business on a daily basis or should be doing. Content creation, logging notes, database management, I don't know what it is. Think about that one thing, and as I go through this framework, map it out and implement it into your business, and we're going to talk about how you do that now. The rules for today is simply to understand the possibilities of automation. Again, overwhelming amount of information I just gave you. Automation is going to be a little bit more of that, but I wanted to give this a visual so that you could understand how this works in the back end and your responsibility as a business owner to help get this implemented in your business. Give you an understanding of the mapping process, so that's where you should focus. This is your responsibility here. I'm going to talk about a case scenario and some of the solutions that we come up with and a visual of the no-code automation tools that you can learn, you don't have to, and I'll talk about that. This is not a technical discussion. We're not going to build automations, but I couldn't figure out how to explain how this works without giving you a visual of the back end. But focus on the things that you need to be doing as a business owner to communicate to the right person to get this done. So what is an automation? It basically, any activity that is repeatable with defined steps is something that can be automated. It can be personal, it can be business related. So let's go back to our list of minimum wage activities. So out of all of these, I would dare to say that 100% of these are automated, or I've already automated them. And the ones that are white, somebody probably smarter than me can figure out a way to do it. There's really not anything, if you can build the automation flows, that you cannot automate and kind of get out from underneath. So think about all of these that you're doing and how many hours in the day it's taking. I'm going to leave you with this, but this is a financial quantification of what I'm talking about. How many hours are you spending on lead follow-up, or should you be spending? How many hours on social media? So this is an interactive form, a calculator rather, that you can figure out what is it worth to you if you're spending 15 to 20 hours either paying a VA at $8 or $10 an hour, or you're doing this work and you value your time at $50, $75, $200 an hour. Start to think about, a couple $1,000s to automate something is going to pay back in less than a month, and start to think about, what it is that I can get back simply by investing in automation with the right tools. So this is best displayed as a case study. So for this, I chose motivated sellers. So I'm of the mindset that a lot of motivated sellers are up in the middle of the night, stressing. They put the kids to bed, they did the homework, they've cleaned the kitchen, they came home from 1 or 2 shifts at work, and the stress is just coming. They've gotten their notification that they've got an auction date, and they may or may not have a husband or a spouse that is participating, and she just cannot sleep, and she's doom scrolling. I mean, how many times do you doom scroll when you're stressed about something? So what happens then? It's 2:13 in the morning, and this particular lady finds you via a Facebook paid ad. They find your site and they call a phone number that is specially designated for this purpose. That lead is created in your CRM. The call automatically is recorded with your voice agent. We're talking about creating AI voice agents here. That lead contact info is now coming into your CRM with their name, their phone number, and email, however you set it up, and where it came from. You can tag it with Facebook ad in this particular scenario. That AI voice agent that you have trained on your business and how to work with motivated sellers greets that seller and qualifies the situation. That technology can show empathy. I'm very sorry to hear that you're facing foreclosure. We can help you with that. Let's see what we can do. I have a few questions. It asks whatever questions you designate for FAQs. So what is the lead may ask, what's the process like? Who are you? Why should I work with you? Because they're Googling. Remember, they're going in and saying, I need to sell my house fast, and they're calling down to see who is talking to you if it's not via an ad. It can schedule an appointment for a cash offer and send confirmation emails and texts. It can do it by sending a calendar link that ties to your Google or Yahoo Calendar, whatever you're using. Or it can actually now say, well, that's great, Casey. We have tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., which works for you. I want 4. Perfect. I'm booking you. Anita's going to come to your house at 123 Main Street. I'm going to send you a confirmation right now. Oh, and by the way, I know you're facing a foreclosure. I'm really sorry. I know it's stressful. I'm going to text you right now a little document that we put together that talks about the 5 ways to avoid foreclosure. I know you're up thinking about it, something you can read right now. So it can text automatically documents, images, videos from HeyGen, whatever it is that you want them to do. And then it's going to start sending reminders to the lead, but also to you or your team or whoever is in that setup process. All of that info is captured, including the full recording of the call. Well, let's take it a step further. So let's say it's the house, we know it is in the M Streets area in Dallas. AI is now going to set up to trigger a workflow that pulls the property data. So let's say you're new to Dallas, you're a brand new agent, you may not know about the M Streets area. You want to know the property beds and baths. If you didn't ask that up front, ask the info. This is for you, not for your client. What's the area like? What's the crime statistics? What's the school system like? So that you as an agent have that knowledge base in your fingers when you look at this leads. It can actually pull images from Google Maps so you see what the property looks like. It can cross-reference other lists to see how motivated and stack issues that they might have and give you a motivation score, sign it to the right member, and updates all of this info into your CRM. And all of this happens before you've even woken up and had a cup of coffee. So you're now talking about fielding leads in the middle of the night and having a package in your CRM that gives you all of this information. And oh, by the way, you've got an appointment with her at 4 p.m. this afternoon to give her a cash offer and walk the house because the agent has explained what that process is going to be. So then what happens? You pull up, you're sitting with her and talking to her about the offer process. I would highly encourage you to start recording your meetings with your clients because you can use TurboScribe to transcribe those and pull out the meat of that and give a summary back to your lead if you want to do that. You can use it to coach people on your team that maybe need some help. Well, this is how I responded to this. Basically, it gives you the freedom to engage with your customer and not have to worry about taking scrupulous notes. AI can analyze the tone and urgency. So what are the words that they use? What was the tone on the call? How desperate might they be to list and sell so that you spend the time with the right lead? It can pull the data. It can do instant follow-up we talked about. You can upload and organize images that you took at your meeting. It can help you define an exit strategy. So if you train it, it can say, based on what you've told me, this is a perfect flip opportunity and I would buy this house myself, or this is a wholesale, get rid of this thing, you don't want it, it doesn't fit your wheelbox. And can give you support for admin tasks like filling out contracts and templates and getting things going. Speaking of that, it can draft an offer, it can follow up, it can set up pipeline stages, all kinds of things can flow into this automated process. And at the end of the day, it's a better client experience because you were first to lead, speed to lead with that contact. You got to them before they spoke with anybody else, and you captured all of that information while you were napping at 2 o'clock in the morning and actually gave that particular client a much better experience because you were there to answer the phone at 2:15 in the morning. All right, so lots there to swallow. CRM, we're going to talk about that in just a second, Luce. Okay, so the art of automation. What do you need to do to make this happen? What is your role? Because I don't want you to, you can, but I don't want you to go into this thinking you need to learn how to build workflows and automation. It's still a learning curve. That's not where your time is. Hire somebody to do this build. But your responsibility as a business owner is to communicate your business and your goals to that person, so that they can build it out and you ultimately get what you wanted at the end of the day in terms of a build out, and it does exactly what you want it to do. These are no code and low code tools that with these you can pretty much build any automation. You can use my platform with ShiftSmart that has its own workflow platform in there and comes served up with basic workflows already ready for you. You can use things like make.com, Zapier, and N8N. So those are other workflow tools that also I use to connect to ShiftSmart to do things that we don't do on our platform. You can use Appify and Phantom Buster to do deep scraping of anything under the sun. So we talked about Instant Data Scraper. Well, you use these tools to get even deeper and find people and find leads that you're looking for. And then we marry it all together with ChatGPT, Claude, or any other large language model, and we leverage Google Sheets and Google Docs. They all play really well together. So these are basic tools that you're probably going to start hearing if you dive down the path of automation. So the content creation machine. So let's just give you a visual of what this looks like. Your role here is this. You want to sit down. What do you want to automate? I want to create a daily real estate blog content machine for my website and to improve my SEO. Then it becomes a brain dump of what you want this thing to do. Not how, but what do you want it to do? I want ChatGPT to write these blogs. I want them to be on trending real estate topics. Okay, I want it to go out and search for things that are being searched for. I want 2,500 to 3,000 words. I want 2 to 3 great images, etc. Give it your wish list, no matter how crazy you think it might be. Give it that to paper, okay? Then you find somebody that is an expert at automations. You can work with me. You can go to Upwork. You can find somebody on Upwork to build make.com or N8N automations, and they're going to help take that wish list and put it into a flow before they build anything. They need to understand how this whole thing is going to work before they start creating the technical side of it. And so this is where you can communicate your wish list to your builder, and ultimately they now know what is the roadmap to get where I need to get and what tools do I need to use. So that's what this is. Again, this is just a visual. You do not need to learn this, but again, I wanted you to see a visual of how these things happen on the back end so that once they're built, you still need to engage in this in some form or fashion. So this is make.com. It is a no-code, low-code tool that you can build any kind of automation and has hundreds, if not thousands, of apps that will allow you to connect to QuickBooks or Google Sheets or ChatGPT or Flux or anything that we've talked about, and many more. So what's happening here? Basically, there's a trigger. So in this scenario, ChatGPT went in and pulled a list of 5 trending topics for the day, and it was ordered to send it to a Google Sheet. This triggered because those 5 came into the Google Sheet, and this now is connected and sees, okay, we've got 5 new blog topics, and that triggers the workflow. That's what's happening there. These 4 modules, this is the creation of the blog. It is drafting an outline, it's writing the blog based on your 2,500 limit, it's stuffing it with SEO keywords, which was on your wish list, and it's doing it in your brand voice, right? So we created a ChatGPT, or we have given it a knowledge base somehow to know how to talk to in your voice, okay? It places it into a Google Doc so that you can edit it. Again, make it yours, humanize it. ChatGPT, always read and edit because it will misspell names. It will maybe you want to add a personal story to it. You want to make sure the links are working. You just need to make sure it's clean before you send it off back to the Google Sheet, which triggers another part of this workflow, but also creates the image that is applicable to the blog content. That's how you've trained it, okay? Or how that person has trained it. This becomes the path to post, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, your website, blog, whatever it is. And then if you have specialized flux, like for your own image, it can create that as well. So that's what a workflow looks like on the back end, and you can start to see marrying your wish list with how this thing actually ultimately gets built out and connected, and how somebody can then walk you through how to operate it or set it on to automatic and you're done. So what kind of automations can you run with this? We talked about content. The one that I'm excited about, so think about a world where you can go on to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and you can say, I want a list of every probate attorney in the state of Texas. And LinkedIn Sales Navigator can automatically export via Appify a list of all of those people. I want 100 of them, or 200, or all of them, whatever you tell it. And then you send it to another automation that enriches it with the phone, email, contact information, etc. Then it goes through another automation that creates an email that is personalized. And it goes in and it says, well, this person, Anita, just posted that she did this 2-hour CE credit on her LinkedIn page and did a blog about it. The email will see that. The automation will say, hey, Anita, I just saw your 2-hour, you ran a 2-hour CE class. I think it's really great that you're teaching AI to agents. Something like that, personalizing it. It's not a generic email. And then it is sent out automatically by your business email. That's what we're talking about, the nirvana that you want to get to, and that's just scratching the surface. So lots of other use cases here that I will let you read. Okay, so concerns with automation really quickly does require some technical knowledge. Things can disconnect. You need to monitor it or have somebody that can help you. It's constantly being fine-tuned as your business changes, your models need to change. You can have some sensitivity with data, so don't put in personal information, your tax returns, clients' information, mask it out or figure out another way to mask it. You just don't know, and once you put it out there, it's out there, and you just want to kind of keep that close to the vest. Getting started, I'll let you read that later. Okay, really quickly, no questions. We're going to keep moving on because I've got quite a few left to go, and you got about 15 minutes. Okay, let's tie it all together. So what if you were able to pull in all of these tools that we're talking about and have a 24/7 AI-powered platform that leverages everything that we've talked about, books appointments, helps you generate leads, manages all of your marketing activities? That's my platform. That's what ShiftSmart AI does. So let's just take a peek at that, and then we're going to talk about a new product launch. So, you know, sometimes I call it a CRM on platform on steroids. It's more of a marketing engine at the end of the day. It's really meant to replace 8 to 10, if not more, of the tools that you're using on a daily basis. One single login, one place for all communication, one place for workflows and managing all of your contacts. It is built on a platform called High Level, which has been around for a long time, for several years, and is growing really, really fast. I've just taken it and customized it for what I do, created workflows, created a structure that will help you narrow in and focus on it, because there is a lot of functionality. So let's go back to the basics of what we talked about. How does this thing work to increase revenue, which is lever one, right? You can manage a paid ad platform directly from ShiftSmart AI. You don't have to go into Facebook Ads Manager, which is just a maze. You can just do it there. AI voice agents and chatbots, you can create any number of these. There's no maximum, so you can train one on motivated sellers, train one on retail clients, train one on your other business, whatever it is that you're doing, and be ready for that to happen. Referral and review requests, so automating all of that process, right? We talked about how Google My Business and having reviews is going to help you get into the large language models. Well, we don't always follow up with reviews requests. So this automation tool is built already to go and ask for that once you trigger something on the panel, and then it can actually respond with ChatGPT so that you don't have to worry about it. Nurture sequences already in there from 12 months to 6 days if you're dealing with motivated sellers, but you can create your own, all kinds of customizations. So very scalable platform, and that leads to what's rolling out here in the next couple of months. So imagine a world where this technology is getting smarter and more in depth to identify demand and leads before they even surface anywhere. So think about the scenario where a lead finds you somewhere on the internet, visits your website. They don't fill out a form, they don't ask for a lead magnet, they visit and then they leave. They visit your competitor's website and they leave. They're typing in certain keywords that you've designated into Google. Sell my house fast, Austin. Best realtor for corporate relocation, Houston. Plumbing services, Austin. It doesn't matter, that works for any type of business. Imagine getting that lead before they've become visible on some list somewhere, served up to you in your CRM with enriched data. So name, phone number, contact information, where they live, and getting that information to your CRM to where you can then do any number of things. You can email them, you can pick up the phone and call them, that's up to you. And you'll even have the capabilities to hit a button and send them a postcard or a letter that you have customized that's specific to them and your business. So that's where the technology is going. So think about what that's going to do for your competitors if you're not on the ball here, even more so with people like motivated sellers, where the minute they hit a foreclosure list, there's 50 agents and investors calling them. So how does it work? You define your keywords and you're going to plug them in. Your competitors, what is it that you think your leads are looking for? And this is real time. If somebody comes to your site, you're going to get an instant notification that you've got a new lead, and what you decide to do with that is up to you. You're going to get enriched info, so name, phone number, email, and more. And then again, what can you do? We talked about creating custom audiences. You can set up an automation that will send them into that custom audience on a regular basis, so they're going to start seeing your ads. So all kinds of fun ways to start getting to the people before they even know that they need you, right? Be the first to get there and make a connection, and truly be first to lead, speed to lead. So if you have an interest in this, again, it's not just for real estate. It can work for any business. If you've got another business, a friend, whatever, med spa, legal. If you want to know when this is coming out and how it's going to work, we're going into testing next week and we'll be off and running. Reducing expenses. So functionality in here can replace MailChimp. You can do email campaigns. You're going to have multiple set as many calendars as you want. DocuSign, so there's e-signature functionality with all the security certificates, so you can get rid of DocuSign. Hootsuite, so a social media planner is in here. You can create surveys and forms. You get rid of SurveyMonkey. You can create unlimited chatbots and voice AI agents, manage all of your clients and marketing activities, build multiple websites, multiple funnels, get QR codes, all of that in just one single login. It does come with certain automations, so things like appointment scheduling, reminders, task assignment notifications, all of that is already built out. You just need to customize it for your name and your business, and we train you on how to do that. We talked about the rest of that. and getting time back. So think about all the stuff that I talked about. If you can automate all of this and really just put it on autopilot, that's going to free up your time to do this. So here's just a list. Somebody asked, how do I get rid of all of these subscriptions? Well, I still have some of the AI tools. Again, I focus on low cost and no cost AI tools, but from an operational standpoint and the things that all of us are used to and using, cuts this out with one single login. So this is just a snapshot of the things that you can alleviate to start saving money. All right. Winding down, because I want to at least have 5 minutes for questions. So one of the things that I'm looking at is really trying to spend more time with business owners of any form, any type of industry, and teaching and educating and helping them understand how they can embrace AI and automation. I think the stat is like 90% of automation and AI projects that small business owners implement fail. And the hypothesis behind that is that there's so much hype in the news, and I'm talking about it, that they just feel they got to get something. They got to put something in. Well, if it doesn't fit your goals, your roadmap, your needs, that's where it's failing. They don't get trained on it. It doesn't really do what they need it to do. So I am starting to do AI and automation audits for business owners. And these are consulting, just like you have heard of other types of, big time consultants who will go in for $500,000 and do a 3-month consultation arrangement and do a deep dive. Well, this is on a much smaller scale for those small business owners, and do some interviews at various levels of their business, understand why they're doing what they're doing and how it's working, what their pain points are, identify those gaps and how AI and automation can help, and then really come back with a very robust roadmap. It's a report that will get them from point A to point B, and here's quick wins, and here's how we should time this out. And to do that, I need case studies, and that's where you guys come in. This can be anybody on the call. It could be a spouse. It could be a friend if they own a business. I'm just looking for that decision maker, any kind of business. I'm doing 3 free audits on this, and so if you have an interest in doing this and can agree to spending time with me and allowing in exchange for a testimonial and share some information publicly, not personal, detailed, but just that we did a case study, that would be huge. So that's on there as well. And if you have an interest in that, I'll let you scan that, and first come, first serve, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, so coming to your inbox, a link to the video with full links to all of the stuff that we talked about. You're going to get a Google Doc link or Sheets link with probably 50 other software tools that just didn't make the cut, but they're really useful in all kinds of disciplines. If you're interested in ShiftSmart AI, we'll do a promotional discount, let you take it for a test drive and walk you through a few things. If you want to schedule a strategy call to figure out, not the audit, but just let's have a 15-20 minute call. Do I need this? How can I use this? Feel free to reach out. You can tell I love talking about this stuff, so I'm happy to spend a few minutes. And also, if you want to go to my site, ShiftSmart AI, sign up for launch information, newsletters, videos that I'm producing. If you just have an interest in AI in general and want somebody that is knee deep in this stuff and can add to the list of people that you're already following, I would encourage you to sign up on my website. There's my contact information, and we've got 10 minutes. Wow, that's great. Okay. I'm really happy that you stuck with me through this. I know I spoke really fast. I went through a lot. It's just, there's so much out there that I want to get you guys excited about. We're at a crossroads in technology where nothing is the same, even just how we communicate with each other. And AI is changing every facet of our lives. Do I think it's going to replace us? I think it'll replace some jobs. Data entry, customer service is going to be affected as the voice AI agent evolves. Even there's some discussion of certain type of surgeons where AI can control a bot that can do these surgeries. If I was a coder, I would be sweating bullets right now because there are lots of apps out there that can help you and me with no knowledge build a website based on a competitor or an app based on a concept within a few minutes for just a few dollars. So there are some industries that I think are going to be really, really affected. But for us who have to maintain that human touch, what's your clients' kids' names and birthdays and sending that and understanding and hand holding during a difficult closing, or sitting at a table talking to a motivated seller whose husband committed suicide because of their financial issues. That happened to me, and she's crying and I started crying. You can't mimic that with AI. And so the goal in this whole presentation and why I'm evangelizing all of this is that I want you guys to embrace it. Don't fear it. Figure out how it fits. Not all of this is going to fit, but find the tools that fit into your business and will help you get to where you want to be even faster. So with that, I want to say thank you for 2 hours of your time. I'm going to jump into chat to see if we have any questions, but I hope you really got something out of this. You're going to get in the email. I would love a testimonial if you think this was, 2 hours of time well spent. That would be great as well. You're someone that deeply understands our realtor needs. Elba here. Where to start if you want to build your own what? We talked about building a lot of stuff, Alba. Thank you, Luz. So Luz, I would tell you, I would recommend ShiftSmart. There's others, but just from a functionality, you don't need all of the tools that ShiftSmart's going to give you, but you're going to have them at your hands if you grow and scale. So it's really a robust platform that will allow you to grow and scale. I forgot my T in there. Lots of stuff. Lead gen, CRM. Okay. So what? That's two things, right? So I would probably take this presentation again, and I know you do a lot of social media, so this is really stuff in here that will help you do a lot with your channels. I would take the presentation and pick one or two of these tools, and you're welcome to email me, but if there's something in particular you're looking to do, learn them, engage in them, get them onto your content panels, just experiment, give yourself permission to be bad, and then you're going to get good. And see how you can fit this into your day so that you can do other things. From a lead generation standpoint, that's where I'm most excited about Spyglass. And so I would probably say, let's you and I keep connected, because I'm going to test this for my own business, and I'm going into testing for my platform this week to see what it comes up with, right? It's awesome to be able to get to somebody before they become visible to everybody else and find ways to connect with them. That would be huge. I also think about a client of mine who does a lot of money on Google Ads to find motivated sellers. And I think she spent just in the last 4 months, what did she tell me, $29,000? And they're doing better than break even, but just on the Facebook ads, she had 1,100 people visit her site and just 2 leads submit. So that's money that's spent. But now that person that has jumped to her website, she's going to get their contact information and be able to reach out to them anyway. So, is it scary that this technology is haunting us like that? Well, there's nothing we can do to stop it. So why not leverage it to your advantage is how I'm looking at this. Regina, thank you. Please feel free to reach out if you have questions, even if it's just a chat. I love talking about this stuff. So I'm going to take that as a testimonial. All right, guys, it's 11:54. If anybody else has any questions, this is it. I'm going to sign off here and call it a day and wish you guys a happy rest of a Tuesday afternoon. All right. We'll see you soon. Go forth, have fun with AI, and I look forward to seeing what you guys produce with it. Have a great rest of the afternoon.